somebody is going to need say for instance, somebody in that group is going to need what you have, and you're going to have something for somebody that you need, and that's all it is. Network governance.
Then the episode 49 of Technically Speaking, we are giving you news
that you can use.
Hey. Make sure y'all hit that like, comment, and subscribe button while y'all in here.
Yes. Speaking of Dr. Poole, what's up? Shout out to you on the IG. Always showing love, man. You know what? We was talking about updating our Technically Speaking merchandise, man. We when you get those hats made, Corey, I'm requesting that we send Dr. Poole a hat. Matter of fact, I thought we said we was gonna send him one. We need to send him a shirt, hat, something.
You know what? I'm gonna get him one. I'm gonna get him one that's gonna have DRPOOL on it. I'm gonna put that on for him. Dr. Poole, you got that coming. All you gotta do is reach back out to me like you're supposed to call me this Saturday. All good.
Shots fired.
Hey, you're the one that got the sound effect for the gunshots, Bobby. What happened?
I did, but I asked Corey earlier if he could hear it, and he told me he couldn't.
You probably got to just check your settings. I got something of a gunshot.
But nah, Dr. Poole, I got you for real though. Don't worry about, you know what I'm saying. I got you with a hat. Matter of fact, speaking of that, me and Dr. Poole is gonna have a good in-depth talk, because I believe I can help him with his podcast journey. Because Donald has a lot to talk about.
He does.
I was gonna say,
he does.
Are you gonna get a pool?
Nah. You know, I don't have a place. I don't have a space for a pool.
Hey, you know,
trying to help you out, Dr. Poole. Trying to help you out.
Right. I am not your customer.
But you could be. Go on move to Texas, man. Get you some land. I could, I could hook you up with some land, man. 2 acres.
You like Dr. Poole, I am not your customer. Not yet.
No, but for real though, Donald, we appreciate all the support and love that you give us every single time. You are there every single time.
Donald, can he come on?
I love when you're on the show. I love your feedback. I love your character, your personality. You seem like a fantastic person. So.
Hey, I say Donald comes on next week.
Now, put him on now.
If he's available.
End of the late. Come on in.
Hey, because we need the Sales 101 Part 2. We're supposed to be doing a 6-part series, sir. We need you back. We need you back. Hey man, how was y'all weekends?
Ladies first, by all means.
Your lighting looks good, by the way.
I really don't.
I thought you were
I had to put down my dog.
Oh no!
It's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted to do, because she is a biter. She was very aggressive towards other people when they came onto our property. We always had to lock her up and stuff. And she, a couple of weeks, got out of our property when we weren't here, and she bit somebody. And so I had to make that decision to put our dogs down. But you know what? Keep in mind. Let's take something positive from this and learn how, as dog owners, how to be good dog owners, and that's sometimes making hard decisions that don't feel good, but overall reducing the risk of something happening to a loved one or something later. Because the person that she hurt the absolute most was my mom. And my mom was not a stranger. She bit the ever-loving crap out of the back of my mom's calf. And my mom's a disabled veteran. She already is not of the best health. And that was probably one of the biggest red flags, was who she went after. So, stay tuned to Technically Speaking. We'll have a podcast here coming up soon where we'll talk about how to discuss how to put dogs down when stuff like that happens within the family, and how to discuss it with your children. Because the last thing that you want to do is try to tell them that your doggy passed over the Rainbow Bridge, and how to be upfront with them, because we had to have that talk with our 8-year-old this weekend. And so we won't touch too much on that topipic now, but stay tuned, because that's a good let's talk about it segment just for the future.
Yeah.
Having to talk about just death being a part of life.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so even on those harder topics, but that's what we're here for. We're here to give you news that you can use on a daily basis, keeping those topics current and relevant to you and your family. So stay tuned.
Well, hey, what was the dog's name?
Daisy. It was my female blue healer. Yeah.
Oh
man, I know it's just a tough situation, right? Like it's man, just sorry to hear that. I've lost dogs. I had to put one down before, lost one to parvo, and yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. I mean, it's essentially part of your family, you know.
Part of your family, right? That's a family member.
Yeah.
So like internally, I feel a lot of turmoil right now because it's not what I wanted. She's only 2. She was perfectly healthy, but I think something was wrong with her up here. And I couldn't risk her biting the wrong person and getting my clearance taken away, getting sued and getting my house. You know what I mean? Those are like kind of weigh the pros and cons, and like it just ain't worth it.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not at all. Dang.
We looked into training, but they told us too, like it could be hundreds to thousands of dollars, and it could truly not even work. I was like,
sheesh.
So,
well, I mean, hey, it's life, man. Hey, life be life, man. So shout out to anyone out there, man, who's ever had to put a dog down, lost a dog, man. It happens, man.
Yeah.
Well, how was your weekend, Corey?
My weekend was chill, man. Like I said on our group chat, man, it was pretty much church and chill. My son got out of line, so I had to remove him from his room, and now I turned it into a full-fledged studio. It's going to be ENT studio for now. So yeah, until he gets himself together, and then gets himself his own house.
It's like that.
Life is like
that's okay. Zero judgment from this group, because we understand sometimes you got to put the foot down. When you love your children, you got to correct them. You got to bring them guidance and correction. And
then sometimes, but there was an episode where there was a situation part to where I did make a mistake. I assumed he did something he didn't do. So I had, as a parent, I had to go back and apologize. But in the midst of looking for the stuff that I thought he took, I found a whole bunch of other stuff that he took. And I was like,
sorry, it's not funny.
I'm like, okay, so, yeah, I literally took 2 full days and cleaned out the room. I was so mad, I broke down the bed. I broke it down. Like, just me. I was, boom, bed rails, boom, boom. Walked all the way down the stairs, 2 flights of stairs, going outside, putting it on the grass, called the city so they can come pick it up. I did all of that, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact I was like, look, man, it's not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, but it's going to be the last time, because you will not be back in this room unless I'm supervised, and you can't have none of your stuff in here. This is now Core Entertainment Studios.
Hey, now you can.
That's a write-off. Look, that's where G was going. The same place. Already know.
I was like, matter of fact, I need this.
That little 300 square feet, that is yours, baby.
Yes.
It's yours.
All of it. All of it.
That's all you now, baby. That's Corey and T Studios. Corey and T Studios. Let me hear you say,
So other than that, man, me and wifey did church and chill, bro. Church and chill.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man.
How about yourself?
Man, me and the fam band went to the San Marcos River, man. It's been a minute since I've been to the river.
It's pretty.
I love it. Is, and
I've been there 3 or 4 times already in San Marcos and at the river. It's really pretty.
It's nice, and I love tubing. And Amanda found like this case that had all my tubes, and I hadn't seen in at least probably like 10 years. I forgot I had these tubes. Wow. Man, you get me in the tube in the river, it's a wrap, homie. Like I'm going back.
Well, you guys know how to swim. That's different.
I do.
Yeah.
I love swimming like in deep water that I can't touch, because that's when I can really be me, because I'm tall. Yeah. So every time I go swimming, then my hips, like there ain't no swimming. I'm just there standing in the water.
Bobby is 6 feet, like.
What up? Hey.
What up?
Hey.
Look, Jesus, I'm not 6 feet. I'm 5'10". All right, 5'10". All right. But
She's being humble. But it was a good time, man. It was just not only was it good to be at the river, it was family time, man. Just
Oh yeah.
You know, disconnect from the world. You know, even though we want you to stay connected, sometimes you gotta disconnect, man, and just enjoy the simple things, man.
Connection, disconnect to connect.
Yeah, got to. Got to.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man.
When I was on the week that I was off, right? I had it was just me and my wife because the kids were spending spring break with their grandma, and I was like, you know what? I didn't want to pick up the phone. I even had a paid client I was working with. I didn't have. The good thing is I knew that this week was coming, so I did all the work I was supposed to do over that week. I did it right away. I was on chill mode. Like, when I say chill, bro, I'm talking about chill.
Gotta do it sometimes, man. Gotta do it. One of the hardest things I had to do when my husband and I went on our cruise was I don't want to say we didn't have nothing to do, but it was weird not having anything to do, not being confined to a schedule, because I'm very rigid. I live my life extremely scheduled. Yeah. Look, I know you do too. I live my life very scheduled. So when I hit that cruise, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. But I was like, what do I do? Yeah. Where do I start? You know what I mean?
Get the pamphlet.
It was like it was just weird not having to wake up. I don't got to put on my alarm clock. You know what I mean? I could just go and grab a pizza or a burger if I felt like it. At 2 o'clock
any time of the day.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, for real.
Yep.
I didn't do that, but all I'm saying is just, that's the way.
Nah, to your point, I'm so rigid and structured. Like the number one thing I like to do when I get time off is nothing. Like just nothing. Like, dude, I'm telling you, when I was on that river, just hanging on that too, I'm just looking in the water, looking at the fish, just whatever, chilling. That's my break. I don't want to do much, man. Like, I'm not trying to be at no bar all night closing down, because then I'm tired and I got the bubble guts from all the alcohol, man. I don't need all that. I just want to do. So, hey, when I go on business trips, like on nights where there's nothing going on, I literally just lay on the floor, starfish, because there's no one calling, asking for something, no dogs barking, no cats meowing, no nothing. Take a break.
Mommy, what's for dinner? Mother.
Hey, Creative Native, it's been a while, man. He's back. He got something. He said folks are programmed, and when that doesn't exist, it throws folks in the loop. Try being disabled. Oh no, good point. Because that
would be hard though, for real.
Yeah, and then this guy right here, man, he was a truck driver. He was all over the place, man. Did everything. So for someone that went from being able to travel all over the place, and now you really can't travel. Good point. The Dr. Poole said true peace to what I was talking about, just getting that time, man. So yeah, man. Speaking of time, it's time for someone to shine. We getting this thing kicked off, man. Who's shining right now, especially in that NFL draft, man?
Well, you said it right. Kicked off, kicked up, and kicked on. Oh my God, they did Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL great and MLB great Deion Sanders, because Deion Sanders played not just football but played baseball as well, and he excelled in both. It looks like the NFL went to make a message or make a point, send a message. Although his stats were superior in college, Shedeur ended up going to the 5th round, getting drafted as 144th draft. Shedeur Sanders. Here's the thing. I feel for him because the closer the pick at the top, the more highlights you get. Right? The better checks come, the better endorsements come, the more the more you're looked at. Like I remember when the young brother from Etsy who went to Chicago last year, and he got major deal. I think he signed a $200 million deal with the NFL. And now, that guy was number one, but he was also putting up stats and numbers just like Shedeur. However, I think the NFL was kind of trying to make a point. At first, I thought it was because he was Deion Sanders' son. You know what I'm saying? But then I looked into some more news that we could use. And it
Hey,
did show that, he didn't want to do the traditional combine workouts. And it's key because of the fact that these NFL is a billion-dollar company. These are billion-dollar companies, right? So they're investing in the players, and some people may look at it like they're investing in stock. Ugh. I have my ideas about that. But you know what I'm saying? Shedeur, he had $6.2 million endorsements deal while he was in college. And so going into the NFL, you know that there's going to come with a check. However, his check is not going to be as big because he was drafted 144th. Now, I personally think they did that to make a statement and to prove a point. But I think this is going to work out in God's favor for him. Because what's going to happen is they're going that phrase in the Bible, and Bobby, you know it. What is it? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So I think they're gonna spin it back, and that man gonna probably come. I wouldn't be surprised if it worked out into his favor and he win the championship his first year in the NFL.
It's possible.
He got drafted to the Browns, but you know what I'm saying. He may get help. He may get help.
No, the Browns ain't the best team. That's all I'm saying, man.
Cleveland
ain't there. Cleveland's on the.
Yeah,
that's why I laughed. I was like, I'm sorry, the Cleveland is on the low.
Trying to hold it in too.
Yeah, but
hey, we got some feedback.
But you know what? We all got to start somewhere.
We all got to start somewhere.
So we all got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Creative Native said, "Let's be honest. It had nothing to do with the NFL sending a message, but more of we want an athlete, not a rapper." Ooh.
Come on, man.
Does he rap?
I don't. Well, one, I don't follow sports.
Come on, I don't. I mean,
if he did, that's news to me. I didn't know.
Well, no, I see what Creative Native saying because I've looked at these pictures of him walking around. He looked like a rapper. He got chains on. He on the stream. He's hanging out with celebrities. You know what I'm saying? But let's not take away from the man's work. If we gonna look at the man's work, you know what I'm saying? He was the number. Well, he had 72 touchdowns his college career. He was the number one out of all 5 of the quarterbacks that got drafted in the NFL draft. You can't take the work away from the man. Now I get it. NFL didn't want a rapper. That's still trying to make a point. You feel what I'm saying? His work ethic.
Good point. Yeah. Good
His
point.
Work ethic got him where he was. It's not. We knew about Shedeur before the draft. We knew about him for 2 years because his father made sure that boy was doing what he needs to do.
I remember that. Yeah.
And his father kind of put the light on him as well. But that's no different than Bronny James and LeBron. A father going ahead paving the way for a young man that he know that probably has the odds decked against him, but to do what he's supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's true. I mean, on the flip side, if Deion Sanders never, was never the athlete that he was, and he would have never been able to pave the way for Shedeur to be able to kind of follow in his footsteps. He could have been some other kid on the street, selling drugs or something, but instead he chose, to follow his father's footsteps, which is good. His father, like you said, paved the way for him and probably created a mentorship for him. I bet you he called his butt at 3 a.m. Boy, better get your butt over to that field.
Exactly.
You better get out there and start running drills with the team. No, I'm just playing. But sometimes people need that, but it's not a bad thing. If you see greatness in your kid, which he comes from a fantastic athletic father, 8-time Pro Bowler, and 14 different, I was going somewhere with this, but anyways, it's 14 different NFL seasons. I mean, he was in it. You know what I mean? Deion Sanders got some damn good stats. Damn good stats.
I'm not even into sports, and I remember when Deion Sanders was popping. Even I was a Deion. It was Neon Deion.
The Cowboys, baby. Original Cowboys, baby.
Hey, hold on, wait a minute. Because when Deion Sanders put out their rap album, I was rocking that. I got to have it. So Creative Native said he was pushed to mixtape. Look it up. So I don't. If Deion Sanders was able to play football, play baseball, and do music and rap, what the problem is? So even if he was pushing the mixtape, What's wrong with that? I just thought about so was his dad. His dad was rapping too.
Sounds like a multi-talented man. We need more of them in this world.
I don't know what the problem is.
All I'm saying.
It's like, now let me put on the entrepreneur hat. It depends. If you can, here's the thing. If you got a skill set where you can monetize it. If you can rap and 500,000 people are going to buy your $10 mixtape, you just made what? $5 million. Just add one more zero to that 500,000. Boom, you made $5 million without an NFL contract. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the skills on the field. See, here's the thing. A lot of people are hating the fact that he's good. He's good. If he let's take away color. Let's take away his father. Let's take away his rap image. If he was a white boy that could throw the ball, he good. So give him his credit. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that society don't want to do is get them kids his credit, whether they black, white, green, yellow, purple, Asian, persuasion. If they good, they good.
Corey, I like the purple ones. The purple ones are good.
Me too. Barney, he good.
I get it. I do get a point though. The point that Creative Native is on, because if you're going into an establishment, because he also said there's no problem with it. Neon Dion came after the draft and had the highlights to do it. Came after the draft. Does that mean he wasn't at the draft, or is he talking about that persona of Neon Dion came after he was drafted? I think that's what he's talking about. But anyway, when you go into any, I guess, like institution, right? For lack of a better way of putting it, there are social norms, right? And I'm wondering if there were some social norms the NFL was expecting from a new recruit, right? Yeah. And maybe just some of the news that I saw that he wasn't really like living up to those social norms. So maybe this was hey, now you get to the back of the draft because you weren't really following protocol. Could that be really what's going on?
It could possibly be. And here's the thing, like I said, he's a good player. So if he gets drafted to 144th pick, right? But if he goes out and do what he's supposed to do for Cleveland, and Cleveland doesn't give that boy no help, he's gonna want to what? Get traded. 2 years from down the line, somebody's gonna be like, I'll give him $45 million to come play for the Dallas Cowboys, who quarterback that can't get us out the playoffs. You feel me?
Come on, Corey, why'd you have to go there, man?
Because I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a Cowboy fan. And
sir, you can keep all that negativity over there, sir.
I'm not even into football sports at all, but I do know y'all Cowboys been struggling. I know that much.
Not struggling. You gotta be struggling. You gotta be
with like 5 G's. It's like struggling.
That's what we gonna ride this wheel. We gonna ride the Cowboys wheel till the wheels fall off and some more fall off. We gonna put them back on and possibly get Shedeur in 2027.
Hey, them ain't 20s, they 10, but you keep them clean though. Huh?
But we keep them clean. We keep them real clean.
You know what I'm saying?
Creative maybe said struggling is an understatement.
Wow.
Hey, let's drop a bomb for the Cowboys.
Oh man. But you know what? Once I'm not a jumping on the bandwagon type of person. My whole family is bleeding silver and blue. All of us have. Whether we win or we lose, we're not just be like, oh, you know what, man, you know what, they suck this year. I'm gonna hop on over here and see what the Falcons are doing. Nah, hell no, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Stay loyal. I like that.
Stay loyal to the soil, man. I've been a Cowboys fan since Troy Aikman. Before Troy Aikman.
I remember that name. Even I remember that name. Creative Native said they ain't been America's team since '96. Ooh.
Look, no, they've been America's
coming
team.
On this podcast with all these negative comments, sir.
He's catching up because he hasn't been on in a while, so he got
show some respect.
You know what I'm saying? Look, there's not too much Cowboy hate. It's gonna be tolerated on here. Creative Native. Hey,
Hey, real.
Hey,
Let him know, Corey.
Saying.
Hey, speaking of not being,
and 96 was a good year, by the way.
Were they doing good in 96?
We won the chip. Okay, that's what's up. Hey,
again for them Cowboys. So speaking of America's team, we're gonna switch gear. I'm gonna tell you two companies that are definitely not on America's team right now, and that's Temu and Shein. They not rocking with America like that anymore.
Oh, no.
Do y'all know why? Do y'all know why?
Oh no.
We knew this was coming.
I saw it coming. I'm surprised.
I don't care.
I'm surprised TikTok didn't blow up. They sure didn't blow up.
Now,
tariffs.
Man, them tariffs, it rocked their world. Like the great MJ would say. Bobby said she saw this coming. Yo, I probably should have saw it coming, but I wasn't really. I didn't make that connection. But what do you say? What do you say? Dr. Poole said, "Forget Temu and their trickery." I feel that. But see, here's something I want y'all to think about, because there's a lot of small businesses here in the U.S. that kind of relied on those low prices from Shein and Temu, and that's kind of how they were building their own business here locally in the U.S. So, I don't, not even from a consumer perspective, but from a small business perspective, that hurt. That hurt. So if you, let's say you got someone that, I don't know, had a small little shop, name a place in America, right, that's selling like knickknacks, and they were getting it for low price and they had good margins. They feeling that hit, man, because it's not just Temu and China and stuff like that. There's a lot of small businesses that they're looking at the risk of bankruptcy. You know what I mean? If they're still gonna try to stay in business, how do they make up that profit margin? I'll open it up to y'all.
Well, I know with Shein and Temu, right? They get their stuff from China, right? And they get it shipped over here. And it's very low cost. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was. It was. I said it was low cost.
Yeah. But if you're really serious about business, right? You're really serious about business, and you really need those products, book you a flight, go over there, pack up a suitcase, and bring it back. It's a business expense. So the flying over there is a business expense. Then you also can build a relationship with the owners of the shop over there, letting them know if you are pro United States government tariffs or if you're not pro United States government tariffs. And then maybe you can work up an individual contract with your country. I mean, with you and them, where they can fly you over there and then you go back. See, the thing about it is, you got to get creative with these relationships in business. I
want to see an example of what people are talking about, because I'm looking at some of the stuff that was in my Shein cart, and it might have gone up a couple of dollars for like a little jumpsuit. Went from like $12 to $14.87. Like, is $2 really going to break you?
So it's more not so much from the consumer perspective. I'm talking to small business owners that were getting stuff from them.
You mean like buying and reselling stuff?
Buying and reselling, yeah.
Putting it together.
Putting it together. Because some people, I know some people that maybe will get like eyelashes, get them for very low cost on Temu, and maybe resell it still at a good price here, but the profit margins were really good. But now it's being reported that prices are up about between 344% because of the 145% added taxes on that, the tariffs, right? And if you go on Temu right now, they're going to show you a tariff surcharge on some of those prices. But what you're looking at, though, Bobby, that what was reported, I believe it was CNN, or not CNN, CNBC. Some of the I guess workarounds that Shein and Temu had was they already had some products here that they shipped to local warehouses. So if it's being shipped from within the US, then you won't see that price hike. But anything that has to be shipped outside of the US, you're gonna see that them tack on that additional 145% because they got to make up the cost. But then again, that still goes back into how what other? Because I mean, to your point, Corey, maybe someone can fly out to China. I don't know if that's a good idea right now. I don't know if it's safe. I don't know, the implications with that right now with the tensions between. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not flying to China. I'm not doing that. But I mean, that's a legit thing to consider, right? When Bobby, you said it, right? The U.S. is ran by small business. So now this is a hit, man. It's gonna disrupt the supply chain for them. It's gonna disrupt the supply chain for their end customer. You know what I mean? So it's what other alternatives? One alternative could be maybe buy domestic, U.S. made. But then now are there enough domestic suppliers that a small business can go to get maybe some of the products they were getting from Shein or Temu for what they're making? That's one. Two is, can they make their profit margins? Because if they get it from the U.S., it's definitely going to be significantly more expensive for them to provide that product to their customers, man.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Go ahead, Bobby. Go.
So in a capitalist society, right, like you were saying, small business owners, we make up a majority, I think, of what how America runs and stuff. And so in order for our businesses to be good, it's important that I think that we should be shopping and supporting our local businesses so that we keep the money in-house, is what I'm saying. That's how we get bigger. That's how we get better, is by keeping the money in-house. And while that might be more expensive, I think maybe not everybody, but I would be willing to pay a few dollars more if I was getting a better quality product, especially with some of the stuff that I've gotten from Shein. 90% of the stuff that I buy, I have to send back because it's not a good. It's freaking terrible. It's terrible.
I bought a shirt that 5 pieces felt like a 2X sweater.
I've been extremely disappointed with some of this stuff, and I'm like, who in the world? What measurements are they using? Even with the measurements.
I feel that from a consumer perspective, but I'm still trying to get some news you could use for our small business owners who may be reselling that stuff, right? Like, what kind of alternatives can they use if let's say maybe the profit margins they were making before, right? Right now, what if they can't afford to go to an American supplier? What if that American supplier does not exist? Then what? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff was sent over to China and we stopped producing it here. So I know Creative Native said order products from Japan. I don't know how the factory industry is in Japan. I don't know if they have supplemental products that you could order. Dr. Pooh said we need India and Taiwan to go on ahead and step up in making more products to replace the Chinese products. I feel that. But what about the small businesses that are trying to struggle right now to not go into bankruptcy? You know what I mean? Because when you start a business,
there's not a one size solution for what we're looking for, because it's not going to be a one size fit all. A small business could be making 1.2 million while another small business only bringing in 150K. And so it's not going to be a one size fits all solution, but definitely think encouraging others to, aside from being shop locally, get creative with what it is that you're doing. Whatever products you do have, use social media and TikTok to your advantage to be able to market what products that you have better. If you know somebody, like you just heard me complain about the measurements off of freaking Shein. If you know somebody who's a seamstress and you can begin to bring out a little bit extra more material for them tall girls like me, or be able to hem it up a little bit, you might be able to bring in some more customized things for your customers if they're looking for something specific.
Yeah,
that's something. I mean, that's something to consider, and maybe.
But it's not a one size fits all.
It's definitely not a one size fits all. But if you're in the products, maybe you're onto something. Maybe that's going to bring back the seamstresses and is that, how do you say that?
Yeah, seamstress.
Unisex? Is that okay? Okay, maybe that'll bring back a
I don't know.
Yes, right. What were we gonna say, Corey?
Garment specialist.
Garment specialist.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I don't know if that's a real word. The only thing here's the thing. We can't do business as usual, like usual, because nothing's usual anymore, right?
So not at all.
As a small business, you got to get in. What I've learned, you have to get around your small business community and see what other small businesses provide that you need. Like Bobby, you said, like, say for instance, if you have, say for instance, there's 10 women very similar built like you, right? And they all work in this, you guys work in the same type of industry, whatever the case may be. So you can't go do a one-off to a seamstress company. However, you can go to a professional designer and see if they can be able to make a mass order for your team. So then now there goes the partnership. You create a business, you can create a business account with that company. And then in the event, hey, they have an issue in their facilities with leaks, pipes, waters issue. They now have a client that actually specializes in water damage and waste resolution. So now the businesses are working together to fulfill each other's needs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're talking about barter services?
No, not barter services. Just have. I mean, that is part of your business network. You remember, me and Geronimo used to go to separate ones, but BNI groups, right? You know what I'm saying? You had the BNI group, which is Business Network, international, whatever the case may be, right? So when you have a BNI group, you shop within the local BNI for the things that you need. So in the event if somebody needed wireless and I'm in that BNI group, they would go to me before they go to an outsider because I have the relationship there. So somebody is going to need say for instance, somebody in that group is going to need what you have, and you're going to have something for somebody that you need, and that's all it is. Network governance. You just got to start building up your local business contacts and colleagues.
So just like Black-owned businesses support other Black-owned businesses, which is a good thing. We do the same thing kind of in our network. Although it's not like a skin color thing, but we have a whole group of Patriot-owned businesses.
Right.
So we would go and give, our business to these Patriot-owned businesses first, prior to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Prior to just anybody else.
Veteran-owned, yeah, like
veteran-owned business.
Yep. Now I think it's getting to the point to where that needs to maybe broaden up and maybe American support American.
American support American, absolutely.
Now Dr. Poole made
charity starts in La Casa.
Say there you go, right? He made a good point though. He said climate control activists and the EPA are responsible for us not being able to produce our own products, plus high taxes. He has a point there. Because there's a lot of environmental controls in place that
they shut down plants
for good reason. Because I was just watching this video recently from PBS. It was talking about this one city in Alabama where they go dump a lot of the toxic waste. And those areas become very, very toxic to the surrounding communities, which tend to be low-class minority communities. So it's a tough situation, man. It's definitely a tough situation. I mean, we're probably looking at another source of job losses, right, for a small business that may not be able to pivot in time. So it's really real, man. It's gonna be tough before it gets better, but definitely just looking for it. And anyone online too, man, it's news you could use. If you can throw out any suggestions that can help small business owners, like what kind of other pivots should they consider? You know what I mean? Gotta pivot. You gotta pivot. Go ahead.
There's a lot of companies out there that do a lot of clothing materials, right? Like, let's say, I want to use one that everybody's familiar with. Okay, let's say Foot Locker, right? Let's say Foot Locker, and they get their shirts made like the Foot Locker or Nike shirt or whatever the case may be. Now, this is hypothetically speaking, or I'm making a point. They usually buy their shirts in bulk from overseas, right? You just got to find a U.S. supplier. Just find you a U.S. supplier and pay that difference. I mean, because of the fact that if you still do work over there, then your profit margin is going to hurt you. But if you find a U.S. supplier, it's not going to be as cheap as before, but you now have an established relationship with a United States business. And you never know, that business can start bringing you money.
Good point. And you know what? I think there's gonna be a reconditioning phase, right? Because we've been used to cheap products. Where now, if I'm a small business owner that sells products, right, I'm gonna have to, like, I guess, kind of re-educate my customer, right, and be like, hey man, I gotta raise prices. If you down with me, stay down with me, but at least know you're gonna get a better quality product. Sounds good, but not all customers are gonna be cool paying that price, because now it's, if let's say you came to me for whatever product I'm selling to you, Corey, now my prices have to go up to basically be the same prices you would get at Target, Walmart, so on and so forth, right? So now what's the incentive of you to continue coming to me? You just go now and go to Walmart and probably get the similar quality product for the same price. You know, that's the delicate dance we're in right now, to where those bigger businesses, they can absorb that higher cost. You know what I'm saying? That small business, not so much, man. So like, how do we deal with that?
Relationships.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's because if this business knows that, hey, I understand I have to raise my prices, and I understand you're usually coming for me so you can supply your business. What you can do is say like, hey, maybe we can be able to get some contracts in, and I can cut costs later on down the line when things get self-situated, because every business is affected by what's going on. You know what I mean? Especially every small business who has to do something, who deal with imports. So what you have to do is you have to build those relationships. Are more important now more than ever.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, man. So you know what? I think we got anything else to add, Bobby?
No, I'm listening. I like where you're going though.
Yeah, good point, man. This is a good point. We really got to start relooking at how we build and nurture relationships, man. That's my biggest takeaway from this, Corey. Like you gave me something that we could push out there. Nurture those relationships, man. And maybe this will force people to get better at nurturing those relationships, because we kind of been losing that, man.
Can I give you guys a story real quick before we move forward?
Go ahead.
Okay. Back in 1921, there was a bombing of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Before the bombing, Tulsa, Oklahoma had Black Wall Street, where, because of the fact that they experienced so much racism in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, they decided to go ahead and build their own communities where they bought from who they were with, right? And it wasn't, I mean, unfortunately, it was racial then, right? But now it's different. We still need to build relationships because of the fact that some party may not have something, and this party may have it. Let's take race out of it and put relationships in it. When you do that, no matter how the economy is going to suffer, then you end up using your group. You know what I'm saying? You end up using your community. You end up finding other creative ways to make things work. Everything is built off relationships. And I think the problem is we as a country got so comfortable without having to wanted to say, I have my own here, I have my own there, instead of saying, you know what? I need what you have, you have what I need. Let's do business together.
Let's do it together. I like that. Good point.
We're better together.
Better together.
So looking at it in big picture wise, just like you said, G, we needed to be focused not on these little groups and little business sectors, but focus on Americans supporting Americans and take every other piece out of it and building up those relationships with one another. Because that's how I think we can probably get past this, but we got to be hand in hand with it and got to be willing to support one another.
And guess
100%.
what? It's an opportunity for another small business to come out that probably can do what they're doing. I'm pretty sure somebody in America can do what someone in China was doing. The only thing about it is they don't have the light shine on them. They don't have they didn't have the, what is it called? They didn't have the exposure. But hey, baby, now
Good point. Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? I got a request. Anyone that's live right now, if you know of any such companies, post them in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, even on a replay, post it in the comments, man. Give us some links. Like if y'all know people with factories that manufacture whatever, share it. We gonna need to know, man. We gotta take care of our fellow Americans, man.
That's right.
Yeah, so I like that. Good conversation, man. It's just it's a good time to show that. One, create that togetherness. Let's start there, and then let's show it, man. Just something to worry about and think about, man. Speaking of togetherness and representing America, we're gonna move on to our veteran topic. And this one, I don't know if a lot of people heard about this, man, but there was an Army commander that got suspended last week because she didn't want to display President Trump's photo in her unit. What's up with that, Bobby? Ooh.
So anytime we have a change in, for people who don't know, whenever you go into not all government buildings, but specifically in buildings that house military units, you have a set of pictures that goes all the way from your local leadership, your first sergeant, your company commander, battalion commander, so on and so forth, all the way up to Secretary of Defense and all the way up to the president. So this is how the command structure works. And
they got God up there.
No, they don't got God up there.
They should put God on top just to be on the safe side.
I'm with you. However, in this specific set, obviously you can't do that, right? Because they what some people may not know, whenever you put on your uniform, you're supposed to be in a neutral presence.
Yeah.
And for somebody who sits at that level, regardless of who sits on the presidential seat, there is still a tone of respect that needs to take place, because the last thing you want to do is put any type of set that precedent for your troops. Because if you have people that are following you, like if obviously, you know, I'm very patriotic, but if I had a commander that was crapping all over the president that I just voted for, and they were like, F that person, I'm not putting them up here, F all of you who voted for them, and they set that tone, I got zero respect for you. And so anything that comes out of your mouth, I don't want to hear it. I don't, because it's disrespectful. I didn't vote for Joe Biden. However, he was the president. He sat in that seat. His photo got put up in our unit. It is what it is. Take that pill, swallow it, move on, and act like you're supposed to. Maintain your military bearing.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, maintain your military bearing. Like we say a lot, I may not like the person, I'm going to respect the rank. I may not like you, but I'm going to respect the rank. And he holds the rank as commander in chief. So set it aside. I don't want to.
Commander in chief, that's your boss. If anyone
that is your boss
in the military, that's your boss, man. So you cannot speak up or disrespect the boss. Where at any company, right? You just blatantly disrespect your boss. What's gonna happen?
Everybody's gonna get fired and put on terminal leave.
You out of here, man. So I don't know what that commander was thinking. I guess her excuse was she didn't want to show that she was showing support for a specific candidate, but that's the president now, man. I mean, all BS aside, that we talked about protocol, right, Corey, earlier with Sanders, and he got pushed to the back of the draft because he wasn't following protocol, right, Corey? So I mean, hey, you got to follow the protocol, man. When you go into any type of environment, organization, you have to follow the social norms. In this case, it's not even a social norm, it's protocol. There's regulations that require it. You know what I mean? So I
was looking up those regulations. I legit, after you posted this in our documents and stuff, I went on, I was like, I want to know what the regulation is. Through all of the BS of Google, I never not once found a regulation that actually says that you have to have this, but what makes it different with Donald Trump versus it having been, you know, Joe Biden or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama? What made this person different? How did we all of a sudden decide to break, I don't want to say tradition, but this is what it is. I think even if I couldn't find a regulation, it was an unspoken one, maybe. It's just what you expect. It's an expectation of leadership is what it is.
It's like this. Your daddy picture, if you the daddy of a house and you live at that house, your picture needs to be up there on the mantle.
A good simplified example, like, or even, I mean,
just think about it. If he go into that house and be like, I own this house. I'm not saying he owns the place,
Trump's like, where's my mugshot?
Where's
my mugshot?
Where my pig, bitch? You know, be like, what? No, but
go ahead.
Okay. You gotta be an example for your troops, though. But you know what I mean?
The sister is a Latina, and I don't know how that. Maybe she was like feeling a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're talking about the commander.
The commander,
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, commander. Got you. I'm tracking. All right.
Colonel Sheila Baez Ramirez. She's the one who pretty much lost her position because of not putting up the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I always said this election was emotional. You know what I'm saying? And some people were emotionally attached to the results of this election. It didn't change their jobs, but it changed their internal position. And so she probably felt like, I don't have to do this. Or maybe she just, you know what I'm saying, didn't make it a priority because, you know what? I don't know. I'm not her. But what I can say is don't let emotional decisions take away your financial position.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's for real. I mean, because what it boils down to, that story definitely brings up that conversation of your military values, right? But also, you know, having staying neutral politically, right? Especially in a leadership position, right?
And that high up, absolutely.
Yeah, because she was very high ranking, man. Like if it was like a young private or a young airman or something, just smacked around, get their little attitude adjustment tool, the hammer. That's what we used to have. Smack them up a bit, boom, hey, cut that shit out. But yeah, someone at that high rank, nah, fam. Nah, you should know better at that point. Like keep your personal political views out of the workplace, especially that environment, because we got to maintain order, man. Like if the mission is freedom, how can you have the troops focus on the mission of freedom when you're doing that nonsense, man? It's a distractor, man. Like your tax dollars, Corey, you don't pay for that nonsense. You know what I mean? We don't pay for that. Do your job.
And Geronimo knows just as well as I do. When you decide to put on the uniform, you're not supporting the President of the United States. You are upholding the Constitution of the United States, which is an oath that we all bear. That doesn't mean that we support the person who's in the presidential power. That ain't it. It is the Constitution. It is the defining thing between all branches that we all support. Yep. So every single one of them for every single American. That's what we support. Mission comes first. Everybody's mission is a little bit different. I was like, kill, but that's like, I know that's not y'all's thing. I was like, fight, flight, win stuff. That's cool and all. That ain't me, man. We're out here to break bones and smash faces type of deal.
Guts and guns.
Guts and glory, baby. Guts and glory.
There you go. Every time a plane took off, man, that's freedom right there, man. Like, hey.
Quick question though. Let me ask you this, because you guys know more than me. It said she's suspended. Does that mean she actually lost her job, or does she get demoted in rank, or what's the possibility of her actually?
They may not share everything. She may be temporarily removed from her status, or she may be not necessarily demoted in rank, but demoted in leadership status, where she'll no longer be a commander, and now whatever rank she sits at, she'll just be an additional person in that unit, and she won't hold that leadership over the unit anymore.
And will that affect her ever moving up again in the
It can. Yeah, it can. If she gets a negative OER. For us, it's an officer evaluation report. We had to see OERs and stuff. So, if she has a bad OER, that can negatively affect her and impact her career. So,
I'm thinking 2 words: early retirement. For doing that dumb stuff, man. Hey, speaking of dumb, we're gonna talk about something else that's pretty dumb in our Let's Talk About It segment, man. We're gonna talk about cyberbullying, man. What's going on with that, Bobby?
So ever since I think ever since social media has kind of come upon us within the last maybe 10 to 12 years, I think we've seen multiple articles come out on different news streams and stuff about cyberbullying and what that means for our kids. Now, as parents, what are we doing to either hold our kids accountable for either reporting those things or for just being accountable in general for those kids who are the ones being the cyberbullies? Should we be holding parents accountable too for what their kids are doing?
Ooh, I never thought about that.
That's very hard, and
it's a fine line, because you can think you're raising a good kid and they're fantastic, they're sweet, but behind closed doors, right, on that social media page, on these little trolling accounts, cyberbullying has gone to the so far that kids ended up committing suicide because it got too much for them. And that's never an article I ever want to read about a child thinking they need to take their own life because some kid wanted to be an a-hole to them. Like, what could we be doing better, not just as parents, but as those who are willing to report it and say it, even if it's our own kid?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think because as a kid, as a father who has kids in 7th grade, about to be teenagers, cyberbullying, I don't let my kids have a lot of internet connectivity because of the fact that I don't like the internet for kids.
See, and I'm with you on that. We're already on the same page.
Yeah. The only thing about it is, it's like as I'm discovering more about how my kids like to be manipulative and do stuff, right? If they do something like break the law and I have to be punished for it, it's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then like there's tools like device management tools you can be able to get for your household. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that once a certain word is said, then that internet device can automatically shut down. The problem with that is it's like this generation of kids, they're very crafty. They know how to work around certain things, right?
Yeah.
And holding the parent responsible for those actions, when, let's be honest, some parents aren't as crafty as the kids. I know there was a time where when I worked in retail, the kid was teaching the mother how to use the phone. So if you have a kid teaching your parent how to use the phone, this kid is running circles around their parents when they're doing stuff they got no business.
Good point.
So I think depending on the case, it's definitely going to be a case by case basis, because if you do have a parent who's tech savvy and they've put in the device management, those parental controls, and the kid still found a way around it just to try to be a bully, the parent should be taken out of the picture and that kid should be held to the standard of the law, whatever that looks like. Because I think when the laws, just like rules in my house, laws are put in place to keep people safe, but laws are only as good as either you being followed them and them being enforced. So as bad as that looks, if we got a kid that's cyberbullying, he's 14, 15 years old, and the kid that he's cyberbullying ends up unfortunately unaliving himself, that may not be a parental issue. That's a kid issue. Hold his ass accountable to the law. And you're going to have those people where you're just going to have to make examples of them. This is what's going to happen. This kid, 14, 15 years old, is now going to see, the inside of a prison cell for the next 25 years of his life.
It's sad, but that's an example has to be made so that other people won't do it, right? You know what I'm saying? And
if they pose a risk to themselves and to society, especially if they've been asked to stop, if they've been reported, and then part of me feels like some of it has to do with some of the adults now. There's so much stuff happening with kids. Some adults just give up. They just give up. They're just like, what? I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. Don't give a damn. Do whatever you want to do. And that's hard.
Yeah.
They're just tired.
Yeah.
They just get tired. What? You do what you're gonna do.
As y'all like to say, I like to play Angel's Advocate.
So,
because a lot of the conversation has been the on the bully side of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so many layers on this.
There is.
Topic, right?
There's a lot of layers. Yeah.
I think a lot of it comes down to mental resilience. Because I'm just gonna keep it real, man. And I hate to say it and sound one of those older millennials, but man, I had to worry about real bullies getting jumped, like physical contact, getting kicked in the ribs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I heard one comedian say, "Hey, man, you don't want to get cyberbullied, just turn it off." But I think what it comes down to is maybe we're lacking that mental resilience. Maybe some of those same parents that are allowing the cyberbullies to do what they're do, maybe they're not putting that parenting effort to make sure that the kids have that resilience to where it won't affect them like that. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, it's really just words. But if you don't have that mental resilience to where those words on that social media platform affect you, that's a problem. That is a problem, because we have to be here to make sure our kids have confidence. You know what I'm saying? I think it starts there, because I couldn't. Go ahead.
That feeds into other topics, such as how has our culture changed this much? Because when we were growing up and I was getting bullied, my dad would be like, "Oh, just have thick skin."
Thick skin.
I hated that. Somebody's like, "Just get thick skinned." Like,
I'm like, I'm
like
thick
that.
already. Nigga, what you want?
I wasn't saying that, but I'm saying, like, when did the mental resilience stop within our culture? How in the world do we have kids nowadays who have more ADHD, depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, stuff that like 15, 20 years ago when we were kids, that was like, it was rare.
Yeah.
It was rare.
You know,
you have kids walking around with all sorts of mental health conditions. I'm like, bro, man, stop being a wuss.
I blame the parents, man. You know what? I'm blaming on weak
parents.
Y'all
are soft.
It's so many weak parents out there. They too soft. It's the soft parents that are making the kids soft, to where the kids feel impacted.
You hurt my feelings, so I can't go on with my life.
Oh my God. You said something bad to me on TikTok. Now life is bad. And then I also say it's those soft parents that created the cyber bullies. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Corey. Tag in.
I agree, but to some point, hurt people.
True.
And healed people heal people.
Yeah.
Those our generation, right? Let's Gen Y, right? We had an enormous amount of hurt that we did not address, right? We had an enormous amount of fear that we didn't address, right? We were the latchkey kid. Am I right? Our parents would give us a key so we can go home right from after school, right?
I rode the bus down the block to my house, and we, went in with the key, I guess.
So we did most of that stuff for ourselves. What we did not do is learn how to heal ourselves internally through trauma. And unfortunately, therapy wasn't cool back then, or
it still wasn't.
It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So we then become a generation of raising kids that think that they're going to be just like us, but they're not. Why? Because they have a lot more exposure to them. We take in television that shit. Sometimes, excuse my language, sometimes watching TV hurt your dang on feelings, right? Then you take in social media, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then you take on, let's throw the original bullying, right? You know what I'm saying? So then there's a lot of that. And then keep in mind, our parents were there, but they were working. So when we had that issue, because of the fact that you had to have two parents working to sustain a regular household, when they came home, they were burnt out already. So to talk to them like, how you doing, babe? I'm like, I'm okay. How was your day? Mommy tired, daddy tired. Woo. Then now we feel guilty coming to them about our issue.
Good point. Good point.
So we have to take in all of this stuff and then identify they have their problems in front of them. Like, this is their problem, but then this also is their solution. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go to the social media because they're alone, or they go to the social media because they don't know how to cope with people outside, because outside for them seems torture. So they go to their phones where it's a safe place. But then the wrong stroll, you may see somebody cyberbullying you from something you had no idea was taking a video of you at school falling, and somebody making a meme out of it, and it's going viral. You never knew. And then you see the girl that you like on the screen liking and laughing and commenting on something that you did. You can't bring that to your parents. Why? Because your 2-parent household is at work. So now you're sitting with that all day long. When your parents come home, how do you address it? So what we have to do is we have to take a look at everything.
Everything. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I say this, everybody's story is different, but everybody has some similarities. We got to just take time out of the day and check in with our babies.
Yeah.
You know they may be a bully, but they're hurting somewhere. Hurt people. Yeah. And if because address, then the weaker of the people who they hurt can hurt themselves, can not just hurt themselves to the point where they're hurting, can do some truly damaging harming.
Yeah. Yeah. What you gonna say, Bobby?
I think because of I'm pretty confident in my answer about this. Because of technology, the way our kids have learned and the way they've grasped things has changed. Technology can be really good as far as learning and kids being able to now read and comprehend by using all sorts of different like learning apps. It's great, but then whenever you have the flip side of the cyberbullying and the creating the trolling accounts and stuff like that, like it's just opened up a Pandora's box to all sorts of chaos that we didn't have. We didn't have that chaos. If we were being bullied, it was like local neighbors, couple of kids at school, but now it's not just at school. You're able to follow it from home. But just like you said, checking in with your kids and monitoring what kids do in technology. That goes back to not necessarily being soft parents, but sometimes you got to be that hard parent. Step into those shoes and be like, hey, I'm checking in because I love you. I'm going to make sure everything's on the up and up. If everything's on the up and up, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. Hand over your devices. Let's see what's happening. And you have to be in there. Don't feel like you're invading your kids' privacy. You can get some damn privacy and you would get out of this house.
That part.
Because you live under my roof. These are my rules. And don't get me wrong, in a biblical aspect, you're under the covering of this home. You're under the protection of this home. And so because of that, I have an obligation to make sure that your well-being is taken care of. You may not like it, and that's okay. But I'm here to tell you that because I have your back, I'm going to check in and I'm going to be poking around, and I want you to know that.
You know what that sounds like? And we're going a little bit out of order here, but we got.
I know we sure are.
You set us up, though. You set us up because what it sounds like is the importance of parenting and setting boundaries with children. Because that's what it sounds like you're talking about, Bobby. Let's talk about setting boundaries when we're parenting these kids now.
So as you know, here on Technically Speaking, we like to bring up a couple of different parenting topics to make sure that we're offering a multitude of perspectives, from different parents on how we do things and what we're bringing to the table. And as I've told our listeners before, that I have 5 girls and 1 boy. My 3 younger girls live with me. My oldest is 15. Middle one is 8 and the little one is 5. So my 15-year-old, we're going to parent her a little bit differently than I parent my 5-year-old. We're setting boundaries with the 5-year-old, but we're setting different boundaries from the 15-year-old. I'm setting her up for what I think is success in her life and what it should look like. And I think that enforcing healthy boundaries, parents, you've got to be consistent on what you're telling your kids. I told my daughter, you can date when you're 16 and that's going to be through my approval. That was the healthy boundary. Now, what we ended up finding out was that she decided to go off and go get her own little boyfriend that she wasn't supposed to be having to begin with. And we found this out through the principal, because they were, oh yeah. So I gave her some grace. I said, this is not what we're supposed to do. And she said to me, y'all, listen to this. She said, well, you're so strict. Your strictness caused sneakiness. And I said, that's an interesting perspective. How do you know I'm strict? She says, well, I said, well, what? Because you see all the freedom that your friends have and you think you're missing out on something, but because you only live here, so that sets the foundation for what you think is strict, because you see your friends having so much freedom. So it looks like you're over here like it's strict, but you truly don't know, because this is what it is. And she says, well, I just want healthy boundaries. And I had to get to the other side of the room. And I told her, let me step to the other side of the room. Let me step to the other side of the room. I said, your healthy boundaries, and I'm bringing y'all into the Lopez household for a second. Your healthy boundaries were dating when you're 16 through my guidance, through making sure the person that you date, his mom and dad have similar foundational ideas and perspectives to what I do, because God knows I'm not going to let you go hang out at his house if mom and dad are never even there and y'all are able to chill with doors closed. I'm sorry, we're not having none of this. Oh. This ain't going to happen. And that's where, you're going to have to be the bad parent. Guess what, baby? I will be the bitch all day long. I will be, and I'm okay with that. I sleep good at night. I might even snore a little, knowing that I did right by you by enforcing boundaries. And the same thing too with the social media. Ma'am, you weren't supposed to have social media. Turns out this is the 5th Instagram account that we've caught her on. She thinks she tech savvy, but you just open up a can of worms. You got 2 tech savvy parents, baby. We found it out. We found it out. Open it up. You think I'm stupid? Play with me. Play with me. Open it up. And I started reading through the text messages. And then, of course, I find out her little friends are leaving their phones in different places in the school because they don't want mom to know that they left campus. I said, well, shit. Look at all this sneakiness happening, and their parents ain't even strict. So I guess strictness don't create sneakiness, does it? Seems like you got some disobedient, disrespectful friends who are not listening to their own parents' set of rules to keep them safe. So God forbid something happened to this kid who went off campus to go get Chick-fil-A for everybody, and something happens to him and he don't have his phone. Yeah. Now what? Go ahead and try to explain that to mom. Mom thought he was good. Oh, I see he's at school. That's good. Yeah. But no, really, he's out over here on the other side in town doing something. And that's what I'm saying. I had told my daughter, let me bring it back for a second, because I'm really trying to stop cussing, especially on my head. Let me bring it back.
Videos aren't not for kids anyway, so I think we're good.
No, but I look, Bobby, as a woman of faith, I can understand what you're talking about. As a man of faith, I can understand what a woman of faith is talking about.
Woo! Oh my blood's boiling just thinking about this too. Because I told my daughter I'm gonna step back because old Bobby, like Bobby from 6 years ago, I would have slapped you first and then we would have come to talk about this. I talk with my hands. I truly do, and I'm trying to be better at it. I had to step 10 feet away from her. I was still talking with my hands, but I was like, oh baby, come within 5 feet of me. I might even reach a little harder to get you straight in the face. I'm not a bad mom, I swear.
No, you're not.
But I've laid the foundation for what I want my daughter to be. I want her to be a good mommy. I want her to be a good wife to her husband, and to understand the respect that comes with that. When you're obeying what your parents have to say, we keep you safe. You don't got to like it, but you got to respect it. So I did my consistent parenting. I told my daughter, I went through her room. I took every little piece of makeup that she had, every bit of it gone. I said, ma'am, if we continue to have this, I'm moving into a next couple of steps of consequences. Do you understand me? Yes. I said, okay, let me tell you what's going to come next. If I catch you one more mother-loving time in this situation that you ain't supposed to be in, your room door is going to be gone.
Yup.
Losing your sweet 16. I ain't about to pay for your disobedience. I'm not about to bless you with a beautiful grand party that I want to give you. Please understand, I'm not selfish. I want to give this to you because I didn't have that. I didn't have anybody having my back, but I got yours. So here's what's going to happen. You are going to behave. You are going to let this little boy know that I have rules and that he's going to respect them as well. Because if you two truly have feelings for each other, the moment you turn 16, don't think for a second he's going to be able to come into my house disrespecting my rules already before y'all were even supposed to be together. I'm letting you know. This is what it is. Well, of course, I end up finding out she's still talking to him because she loves him so much.
Of course.
So that was last Monday. You know what I mean? Love is so hard. She came home to no door on her room. No door. I told her what was going to happen. I told her. I laid it down. Gave you the opportunity to fix it. Second, I end up finding more, and this is where the whole conversation about strictness creates sneakiness. I said, you ain't about to pull that crap on me, man. I did not make you do that. That was your own choices.
Yep.
I told her too. Quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. And here you are getting some quality consequences like I talked to you about because of the quality of your decisions. There's some quality consequences happening over here. So not only is your door gone, I'll let you know when you can get your makeup back. It ain't gonna be anytime soon though. No, sweet 16. You think for a second that I'm about to bust out this party for you? Girl, you out your damn mind.
So now the question is, since that money's not being spent on the Sweet 16, how are we
crypto
turning
up?
Crypto! Hey, we
gotta do it.
Look, anybody listening, if you can relate to me, just know, number one, you're not alone, but two, sometimes you've got to be the hard part. You've got to be that person, and it's gonna be okay because we want our kids to be successful. We want them to make mistakes. That's okay. But I gave her a little bit of grace to fix it, and she chose not to.
You had so many chances.
You do. She did. She had a few chances to get it fixed, and you didn't get it fixed. I'm gonna continue on with this disciplinary measures, like I told you I was gonna do. I'm gonna be true to my word.
You did say that the last time we talked about parenting. You said that the next step was gonna be removing that door. She
no privacy.
If she was watching the show, she would know better. Like, hey, she said she was gonna do it.
Oh, she would be pissed. She talking about FAFO for real.
FAFO.
You effed around and now you found out.
Hey, Creative Native said that, Bobby, you want to make an investment in more Moreno Ranch, expanding the ranch out there in Cali.
Yes, sir.
Money available now.
I sure do. Now, you know what? You asked me what I was going to do. I'm going to get me another goat.
Hey, goat money.
Hey, so maybe I'll ask you this question offline.
Oh, okay.
If you getting the goat, I got questions. Hey,
because we got some farm animals and stuff, and I love my animals.
Got pigs, goats.
I do. Yeah, I love my babies. I was out there feeding them like 20 minutes before I got on here, making sure everybody's good, doing body checks, make sure everybody got food, got water, got some love.
So the thing is, though, man, it goes back to accountability, man. You got to set those boundaries. The boundaries, like what you're doing, is great. We need more of that. Like, I think to our earlier point that we were talking about, to prevent those cyber bullies, you got to do exactly what you're doing. You doing some parenting. You got to parent these kids, man. And I get it. It's not that easy for a lot of people because life be life and it wears you out. But hey, man, you chose to have these kids. You know what I mean? It's up to you to get them ready for society, man. Because if you don't do it, the cops gonna do it. A criminal might do it, taking advantage of them. You know what I mean? Like
I'll even go as far as to tell you that if you love your kids, you will step in and you will be a part of it. You will be visible to them and be transparent with them. Let them know, hey, this is where I was at your point in life. But you have an advantage over me. I talk to my daughter all the time. I let her know too. Where was I when I was 15? Living with your alcoholic boyfriend? Yes, I was. When I was 15 years old, I didn't have somebody guiding me. But things are going to be different because we are a generational curse-breaking type of family here. Yeah. And so just because I went through it doesn't mean for a single second I'm going to let you have those hurts. I'm saving you from a world of hurt and you don't even know it. You don't even know it.
Yeah.
So,
real quick, Corey, Creative Native said we need more parenting like Bobby's. Hell yeah.
Look, Bobby, let me tell you something. You are 100% on point with that. Yep. And here's what you're doing. You know, there's a phrase that history repeats itself until the cycle's broken, right? And I get what you're doing because you don't want your children to have the experience that you had, right?
I don't want them messed up. I don't want them to have that trauma.
And that's the same way as me. I don't want my children to have the experience that I had. My experience wasn't detrimental, but the difference is we are supposed to have our kids are supposed to be better than us. If our kids are better than us, that means we are successful as parents. That's how I look at it, right? The boundaries are so key because of the fact that there's certain boundaries we have to protect them from, but then also we also have to put boundaries on ourselves and realize, like, look, I have to make sure I don't go too far into doing something that I can be able to scar them. Because in the Bible it says, let's go to biblical terms, but we're gonna pivot off of that. Spare the rod, spoil the child. He was talking to the wise men. He wasn't talking to the angry man. He was talking to the wise men. And the wise men are the people who knew how far they can go. Because what is wisdom? Wisdom is when you have applied knowledge, right? And then, but it also says it says fathers don't provoke your children to wrath, right? So there's a certain boundaries we have to go and realize that we just can't do, because sometimes we just want to Bernie Mac them and pull them up, but we can't do that until we
about to Bobby Mac them. But I stayed back. I stayed back, and I let her know too. I'm back here for your own protection. Exactly. But that was my boundary, because I did used to speak so much with my hands. I said, so because of that, I know where my anger holds, especially having to repeat myself. Y'all like, oh, I don't understand why y'all yelling. Well, shit, if you'd listened to me maybe the first 14 mother effing times, I wouldn't have to be yelling now, would I? Right? Look, right. All of us have been there.
Ask you this, and then we got another comment I need to read. What's worse, you speaking with your hands, or she grows up and does not be accountable for her actions, and now she's either locked up or something worse? You know what I mean? When that hand was the course correction tool to teach her how to be accountable for when she becomes a grown woman. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You want to use that sparingly, but hey man, some kids, man, like my mom used to tell me, man, hard head make for a soft ass. So
that's still true today, and nothing changed.
Still true today, and tell you what, my ass was soft because I was getting smacked up all the time because I was bad as hell, but it kept me out of jail. Like I said that before when we talked.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And stuff. I'm in a pretty good position because of that rough parenting that I had. I needed it. Single mom, you know what I mean? That pops wasn't around until my stepdad showed up. Like, what you gonna do? You know, she did what she had to do, and it worked. I'm proof that what you're doing is something that has to be done, Bobby. And a Creative Native said, as a little league coach, he's seen it all. It's not his job as a coach to teach your kids manners and respect. It starts at home. So it's like, hey man, you lay down with somebody, and you have these kids, man, it's your job to teach them that respect, manners, accountability. I'm gonna keep saying accountability because, man, accountability is at an all-time low right now, like the stock prices. Come on.
And listen, parents for younger kids, don't be waiting until you're out in public to try to discipline your child because they're out there throwing a fit. If they're throwing a fit and you ain't doing a damn thing at home, you ain't gonna do a damn thing in public. Look, I don't know why you act like this, because you tolerate it at home, because you don't whoop that butt in private, so they don't know how to act right whenever you go in public. I can't stand that about some people.
And look, you know what I'm saying? The only reason why they address it in public because they get embarrassed.
They get embarrassed.
Yeah. And so and what they should realize is, if you took care of business at home, then you know when they get out in public, they know that they ain't gonna embarrass you because they know what happened. But
I've seen some big kids doing it too. It ain't even just little kids.
Let me just say this to Creative Native. I understand it's not your job to raise somebody else's kids with their behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's true. However, if you know, as a coach, you know that some kids will act out and try to get all the other ones involved in the mayhem. Sometimes you got to make sure you put the person who's doing it. You have to check them and correct them. right? You know what I'm saying? Because energy, negative and positive, it doesn't die, it transfers. And if you know what I'm saying, you transfer that energy to somebody else, then you're gonna get a group of people feeling like it's okay to act like this because of the fact that they act like this. So some situations you cannot ignore. You gotta nip it in the bud, whether that's if it's my child or if it's not my child, but you around my child, then I'm going to correct you, because what I don't want you doing is being an influence on my child.
Oh yeah. And if you come into my domain, I'm correcting, because I'm at that stage myself to where teenage stepdaughter, she bring her friends, I'm on them. Like, nah, because they want to say certain things and sound like a Future song in front of my 2-year-old daughter. I'm like, hey, nah, you're not saying that in front of my daughter.
No.
And they apologize and stuff like that. But the thing is, to me, if you felt that comfortable talking like that in front of my daughter in my house, that speaks volumes, in my opinion. Like, what are those parents doing to where you feel comfortable to talk like that in front of a baby at someone else's house? You know what I mean? Like, it's
disrespectful. That's straight disrespect right there.
I'm not the cool parent.
No, I said the same thing too.
I'm not the cool parent.
No,
no friend. You know what I mean? I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to guide you and raise you and give you the game so you can get out there and do something with yourself. Matter of fact,
you're gonna have plenty of parents and you're gonna have plenty of friends, but you're only gonna have one mom and one dad.
There you go. Let me tell you this one too, because I had to take action. So it sitting at the table, right? I'm just customs and courtesies. I'm with that, right? The leader of the house is gonna get the head of the table. That's just how it is. I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but that's how it is in my house. That young lady sat at the head of the table when we was eating. I just picked up her plate, moved it to the other chair. I'm like, yeah, you sitting over there. Like, what the dude? This accountability is bad. So to Creative Ned's point, we need more Bobbies out there, man. Have some. Hey man, stay on these kids, man. I don't give them an inch, because you give them an inch, they want to take the head of the seat, head of the table, man.
Do you guys remember Charm School on MTV?
I remember that.
And then remember the Gentlemen's Club they had with old boy Farnsworth Bentley?
I remember that. Yeah.
I think we need to bring real life situations back like those.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
For real. Etiquette school. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
We can definitely benefit from that, because at the end of the day, man,
some of it's our culture, because when you go to other countries, it's not like that.
Oh heck no.
Yeah,
you get beat for spitting on the ground in Singapore.
I know. I've heard.
Yeah,
but you can see how some of the I follow a couple of English guys that like to take American food and go and show it to like kids in like in the United Kingdom and stuff, and they're different high schoolers. They're it's like a prep school, I think, and they're these real nice looking black kids and white kids that come in, and you hear the way they speak. It is not like it is here. They're using they brought in Popeye's spicy chicken sandwiches, and the black kids are like, oh my god, they eat this, they could have this every day in America. They're like, oh, this is lovely. They said that. This is lovely. I'm like,
lovely.
It's extremely proper, but that's their culture over there. When over here, like, y'all do bussing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From bussing to lovely.
My kids can't use slang around me because
if you don't know what it means, you don't want them using it, right?
No, it's too comfortable. I want them to have a manner of respect to certain things. They just can't sit around me. They didn't, because if I catch them cursing, for sure.
I've had to remind my kids, don't call me bruh, because I ain't your bruh.
I ain't your bruh.
Yeah,
I'm not your bruh.
No.
My oldest one is probably the biggest one. My other daughter, the one that I was talking about just a little while ago about the door and the makeup and stuff. She's like, bro, I didn't even do this. Who the fuck are you talking to?
Yep.
Say it one more time, I dare you.
Here's another reason why it's so important to establish.
For real.
Here's another reason why it's so important to establish these boundaries. Because you were talking about it earlier when we were talking about the Temu thing and small business owners, right? Because at the end of the day, whatever you want to accomplish in life, it's going to come down to relationships. And if you are like that, I don't know if that's the best way to build and nurture relationships, because the one thing that's not going to change in the business world, people want good service. You know what I mean? To where like maybe we can't convince the parents to guide these children and set boundaries right by talking about, hey, maybe they end up in jail or like, you know, dead or something. But do you want your kids to be successful in life? Because that will never change. No one will ever be like, no, I don't want no good service. Nah, I don't want no good.
I want my kid to be a failure at life.
Yeah,
nobody's saying that.
Right.
So like that's another aspect of it too, is these are teachable moments. Set these boundaries for respect, man. Respect. So when get out there, you get a job, start a business, you gotta be able to give good service, man. And it really starts with having good manners, good boundaries, good respect, man. And I think that's really
it'll pay off.
It'll pay
Stick
off.
in there. All right, and I'm telling myself, look, I'm talking to Bobby right now. Bobby, stay in the game.
No, yeah.
Yo, you're doing the right thing.
Don't be a bee and fall out and be like, you know what, do whatever you want. There's some moments. There's some moments of weakness, man.
Community supports you, man. Nah, stay on that, because it's just gonna make her better, man. You know what I mean? She won't see it right now, and that's actually another thing too that I wanted to bring up when we were talking about the cyberbullying. Is one of the things with this digital world we live in is just that addiction to dopamine, because that's why they're so addicted to those phones and social media, because they just get an endless dosage of dopamine. Your daughter, she wants to do what she's seeing other kids doing because she thinks it makes her feel good because it's releasing that dopamine, right? It's the dopamine chase, right? She's trying to do all these, they get to do it, I want to do it because I'm gonna get dopamine in the brain, right? It's we gotta refocus that energy on something else that's positive, that can also release dopamine, like working out, sports, right? We got Coach Creative Native, man, teaching these kids how to play football and softball. Like,
hang in there, Coach.
Yeah. So, like, I think that's if you really peel back the onion, that's really what it's about. Is they've gotten so addicted to dopamine. I want everything to feel good all the time. Basically,
it's the pleasure syndrome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they want instant gratification.
Yep.
Everything needs to be done now, but teaching your kids too delayed gratification. Hey, I can give you $1 right now for this gum that you want, or when we get home, you could rake those leaves like we talked about in the backyard, and you can get $5. And we can come back in a couple of days and get something better that you might want. That's delayed gratification. There's nothing wrong with telling your kids no.
Yep.
Not right now. The moment I tell you not right now, look, that's a solid no. It just isn't gonna happen.
I just got something you gave me to build on. What's that, Bobby? When you don't hold your kids accountable and you cave in a lot, you become an enabler, because now you're enabling that instant gratification, and now they expect it. That dopamine addiction.
You've created that expectation for them. So when they ask you and they ask you enough, they're going to wear you down. You're like, fine, just put it in the basket. No, stick to your guns. Be like, no, you know what? We got better things to buy with the money that I work hard for. Not today, bro.
That I work hard for.
Yeah, that I work. I work. I did this. You didn't. You're just a beneficiary of what I did. You benefited from what I did. You didn't get what I got.
Matter of fact, you're welcome. You're welcome, and you're welcome.
Walk around the house telling your kids, you're welcome for what?
Singing Moana songs all day to them.
What can I say except you're welcome. So, hey, give us a final thought on that, Corey, before we wrap up tonight's episode.
You know, I think the final thought is this. Kids are too 5G.
Ooh.
They're too 5G.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Remember dial-up?
I remember dial-up.
You downloaded the song. What did you have to do? Download the album, go to sleep, wake up the next morning. Then it's what's right. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Good old LimeWire, baby.
You know what I'm saying? DSL, you was able to get, you know what I'm saying, a 3-minute song in 10 minutes. Cable, you was able, but remember, you had to be stationary. You had to be somewhere.
This is true. This is true.
You know what I'm saying? Wi-Fi, you stronger connection, but you still got to be connected in a local central location. 5G, you can just be everywhere. You're all around. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yep,
you know what I'm saying? They're too 5G. They need to get back to they need to get back to dial-up where they gotta stay plugged in to the source.
Oh, I was just about to say they need to stay plugged into that source.
You feel what I'm saying? And when they plugged into the source, we filter out what they can get.
I like it. Mm-hmm. So basically, parents were like the firewalls.
Oh man, damn it! Y'all are taking all my thunder.
Be that firewall. Be strong.
Be the firewall,
strong.
Baby.
Yeah,
be the firewall.
I like that. You
try to do your best to prevent any malware from being able to come into your children's heads and stuff.
I like
keep
that.
Them plugged in and keep them keep them there at the source and stuff like that. And you know what? There's going to be days. Just a quick thought. It's going to be unpopular. It's just going to be unpopular. It is what it is. But you're not concerned about any of those children. You have your own to be concerned about. And I tell my daughter all the time, they are not my concern.
Yep.
They're not. Yep. You are. Yep. You are my responsibility. I have an obligation to protect you and to see that you're safe. So
that's what it's all about.
Unpopular opinion, but it is what it is.
I mean, to some, that's not an unpopular opinion here.
I got people that are like, you don't give your kid privacy? No. You can get privacy when you leave the house. You're more than welcome to do that.
Really? Privacy, you help me pay one of these. Hey, I tell mine, pick
day
one.
You turn 18, you could take all the privacy.
I'm about to say, privacy is a grown word.
It is a grown word.
It's a grown word.
You ain't there yet.
You're not there. One thing I won't do though, because my youngest daughter, she be like, privacy, because I'll be like, what you in the bathroom doing? Mm-hmm. And she be singing, and I'm like, are you putting on your clothes? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I knock on the door, privacy. I'm like, girl, get dressed for school. So I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with their privacy is in the bathroom. That's their place of privacy. Everything else, you not grown.
Nope, not at all, man. So they gotta what was it? Stay connected to the
source.
Stay connected to the source. Keep these kids connected to the source. They gonna try to fight it, but don't give in, don't cave in, man. Stay remain that firewall, man. Protect them from that malicious logic. Protect them from that malicious logic, man. Hey, man, that was a good one, man. Yeah. That was a good one. We had another one, but we'll save it for next week. We'll be able to talk about that next week. Hey, speaking of which, though, if you here on YouTube, you watching the replay, whatever, stay locked in, man. Click that subscribe button, click that like button, leave us a comment on any of the topics we talked about. Share your thoughts and stuff like that, man. Stay locked in.
New merch coming soon.
New merch coming. New merch. Hey, man, we gonna have it up there. Corey got them hats, man. We got to get a technically speaking hat on that dome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not this one. Not this one. But we're going to get some hats.
If you are checking out the recap, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure that if you see this on a short, give us a comment. We'll do our best to try to hit you back. If you've got questions about something either that we said or you want clarification on something, don't be afraid. Definitely be respectful, but don't be afraid to share your opinion. We're here for it.
And you know what? If y'all got some topics y'all want us to touch on, tap in. Topics to touch on, tap in.
Tap on, top in. We got, what's the acronym? We'll come up with that acronym. Yeah. I'm like, there's
no
acronym
there. no acronyms.
On, tap in.
Oh man. Hey, speaking of tapped in, if you have any issues with your tap plumbing at the house, how can you help with that, Corey? If they just so happen to be in a Bear County or surrounding areas, and some of that tap water don't want to act right.
Man, if that tap water doesn't want to act right, let Bobby tell you exactly what to do. All right, give me a call. We're here at Patriot Restorations. We're here for all your water damage needs. You got some busted pipes somewhere, your water heater is acting crazy, your fridge is leaking. Give us a call. Let us make sure that it in fact is even worth it to even get your homeowner insurance involved, because sometimes it ain't going to be worth it for you, but we're here for you. If you don't do homeowner insurance, that's cool. We do offer 50% military discount for our military first responders. We love you guys and we appreciate all the support for the company and everything else getting big. Oh, and you know what, quick plug, if you are in the Bexar County area and you do know somebody who's graduating and you're looking for photography, let us know. My husband and I, we don't talk about it all the time because it's a side hustle that we do. But my husband and I do offer professionally done pictures out at the Pearl, out at the missions, whatever your theme is. We can help get you in for your graduating, either seniors or even your little ones. We're going to put up some kinder graduation pictures for my little one. So
Hey.
yes, we do offer professional photography at a very, very good price because it's not primary income. You know what I mean? Got to have that side hustle.
I like
Something to
that.
think about.
Corey, what can they get from Core ENT if they out there in the Los Angeles area?
If you are in the Los Angeles area and you're looking to start a podcast, grow a podcast, or just need some social media packaging to go along with your top podcast, reach out to me. I'm running a special right now where I'll be able to give you a nice variety of services for not so much. We don't break the bank, but we care about what you think. It's your main man with the game plan, Corey Giovanni. Tap in with your boy.
Hey. And then, you know, I'm Geronimo. I am at tech_Von_go on Instagram because, you know, everything we do drives on tech, man. Mm-hmm. And for me, man, real estate is my thing, man. So if you coming to San Antonio, you need you a vacation rental to stay at, just hit me up. I can shoot you a discount code. Also, too, if you're looking to maybe stay, maybe not in Lubbock, but maybe Lubbock adjacent, about 30 miles away, I got some land that'll be available for sale for you at a good price, man. About 7,000 square feet, man. You can do whatever you want, build your own house, whatever you want to do. But that's coming soon. So, hey, man, stay locked in with us, man. That's the episode tonight. Y'all have a good night, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all.